have to practice.
This is Justin.
And Theresa.
You're listening to a Perfect Mess podcast.
On today's episode,
I watched Event Horizon last night.
No way! We have to talk about it! We have to talk about every scene, man! Hey! Remember when Jack Noseworthy's eyes explode? Wasn't that awesome? Please agree with me that was awesome. What do you think of it?
I just wasn't into it. I don't enjoy it. I didn't like it. Hola.
Welcome to another iteration of
Iteration?
I've been playing.
We're whipping out the big kid words this
I've been
episode.
playing No Man's Sky a lot on PlayStation, and
They use words like that?
Iteration's a pretty big.
See, I wouldn't know because I play Animal Crossing all day, every day.
Believe it or not, from what I understand of Animal Crossing, No Man's Sky is like the sci-fi version of Animal Crossing.
Oh, really?
With a really, really, really deep and mind-fucky plot.
Animal Crossing doesn't really have a plot, though.
The plot in No Man's Sky, from what I understand, is just kind of like there. You get through it on the surface.
Uh-huh.
And then afterwards, it's like Animal Crossing or Minecraft to the umpteenth degree.
Really?
Because there are like a bajillion galaxies, and each galaxy can have a dozen planets.
Uh-huh.
And then you have the entire planet to do whatever you want.
Interesting.
And like, it's cool. Going totally off topic, we haven't even started yet, but
it kind of leads into what
it kind of does.
So
it
it's
kind of
okay.
does. Like, you can break into an alien base, and the passcode.
It sounds like that game from way back in the day, StarCraft. Was it called StarCraft? I think. It was a
I know what you're talking
game.
about. Yeah, it's not like that at all. It's
No?
more.
That was a good game.
It's legit open world, and there's parts where like you have to break into a base, and you have to crack the code, and it's a linear sequence. Mm-hmm. It's like the first number is 7, and then the second number will be 7 times 2 minus 1.
Oh, you've already lost me.
And then you have to complete the sequence to get like the fifth number.
Way too much math.
Yeah, it's way up my.
You know what annoys me about PlayStation?
What?
Here's what annoys me about PlayStation. Every time I turn on my goddamn PlayStation, now I don't use my PlayStation every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. But every time I turn it on, it's got to update for like
that
4
is annoying.
hours.
That is annoying. I'll give you that.
So like I'm in the mood to like play Kingdom Hearts or play whatever. Go downstairs, turn on the PlayStation. Your PlayStation requires an update.
Yeah, it is.
Update will take 4.5 hours. I'm like, well, in 4.5 hours, I'm not going to want to play. Because now I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to play Animal Crossing, and that's where it's going to be for the next 20 hours.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome back to A Perfect Mess.
God help me. God help me.
And today, we are going to discuss one movie. Therese, what movie are we talking about?
Event Horizon.
And we've been talking about this for...
Since we first decided to do this podcast.
No, we've been talking about this for at least 5 years, going back and forth.
I hate this movie.
We're talking about Event Horizon because I have no idea what your problem is with this movie.
I hate this movie.
And
I don't understand why you like it so much. I'm not going to lie. I mean, granted, you are more of like a sci-fi, spacey, mathy kind of person than I am. But I don't think it's that good of a movie. And you're constantly, oh my God, Event Horizon.
Because
like,
it's such a
sucks.
great movie.
It's not a great movie. It is not a great movie. He's like almost ready to bang his head into his microphone shield right now. P.S. And he's like, when we decided to do the podcast,
yeah,
he was like, because at first, the first idea we had for this podcast is we were each going to pick a movie for the other one to watch, and it could have been anything.
That's right.
Just to kind of like annoy the other person.
Yeah.
Like I wanted him to watch Magic Mike. He wanted me to watch like 17,000 different fucking animes.
That would be a good episode, though.
You refuse to watch Magic Mike. What am I going to talk about Magic Mike? There's half-naked guys at the end.
Yeah, it's pretty much...
It's not pretty much. There's a plot line.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. There's character development. Anyway.
Right.
And then we were like, well, what if we just do like one movie to like focus on? He's like, it has to be Event Horizon. Everybody loves.
I didn't say it has to
everybody
be,
loves.
but everybody
Event
does
Horizon.
love Event Horizon.
Like we get so much like publicity if we did Event Horizon. I'm like, Event Horizon sucks.
I just don't understand what you're basing that on. It's coming out of absolutely nowhere.
I don't enjoy it. And I don't think that it's as big of a movie as you make it out to be perfectly honest. You're the
Disagree.
only other person in my entire life that I've ever heard mention Event Horizon before. Ever.
Okay.
I've never seen it trending on Twitter.
What does that matter?
It matters a lot.
What does that matter?
It matters a lot.
Trending on Twitter?
Yeah. It matters a lot.
Okay.
Okay?
What was the last movie that you saw what was the last horror movie from the 90s?
From the night Scream. That was trending on Twitter. It was trending like 3 days ago.
What?
It was.
For what?
Because somebody mentioned.
What does that mean for something to be? I don't go on Twitter.
Trending means that there's a certain number of tweets per hour, and it's like one of the top tweeted things.
And just randomly people were like,
well, no.
yo,
Because of,
hashtag
like,
Scream.
Because of like quarantine, there have been people that have been starting like, what's your top movie of these 4 or something like that, and somebody had done that. And Scream was one of the options, so Scream was trending.
All right.
Oh, see? I'm up on the Twitter trends. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Good for you.
Oh, God. This microphone's pissing me off today.
Try not to knock into it.
I'm trying really hard, but it's at an odd angle. There's a straw in my cup.
Yeah, that is throwing me off as well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
So,
What are we rocking today? The peach Jim Beam?
As I was driving, I asked if we needed any liquor. And Justin was kind of like, I have a third of a bottle of Proper 12 left, so get whatever you want. So I bought a bottle of Chivas.
Like Chivas.
And I bought Jim Beam peach whiskey. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try it, thinking that Justin wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
I also had stopped and gotten an iced tea from Starbucks because I went, I'm going to put the peach whiskey in the iced tea. So we are drinking unsweetened black tea with Jim Beam peach. And it's quite delightful.
It is really good. Full transparency. I was like, she got peach whiskey? All right, whatever. And, I'll try it. And you got me. This is really good.
It's a very
I would
nice
legit drink
summer,
this. Yeah,
summer
it's light.
drink.
It's very light.
And I actually
It's refreshing.
I make a peach tea whiskey with like actual like tea bags and
Tea bags and whiskey and peaches.
Well, no, I cook the peaches with water and sugar to make like a peach simple syrup.
Okay.
And then I mash the peaches as I pour the syrup through a strainer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I steep the tea bags, let the tea cool down, and then add the peach simple syrup, and then add the whiskey to it. And it's
How long does the whole process usually take?
not that long. Half hour maybe, because you're
nice.
steeping the tea bags
Yeah.
as you're making. The longest thing is you have to let the tea cool down before you can, because it's really supposed to be like an iced tea.
That makes sense.
And I like to let it cool down before I put the whiskey in, because you don't want none of that shit
cold
burning
water
off.
burn off. I agree. So, Event Horizon.
Vent my ass.
Do you want to give a synopsis, or should I?
Well, there are these people in a spaceship, and I still don't
You
even
can go in
know.
the corner and fuck yourself.
I
So,
still
Event Horizon is about...
I wasn't done.
All right, go ahead.
You still don't know if they're like on a normal mission and then they just like find the Event Horizon, or if they specifically go out looking. I get very confused because they just talk. They throw all this science jargon at you.
Did you watch the movie?
Yes, I watched the movie. I know that they eventually find.
Were you high while you're watching the movie?
No, I wasn't high.
Were you sniffing glue? At the beginning of the movie, there's like Star Wars
Yes,
style
I
text.
saw that, but it didn't say that they were going to search for the Event Horizon.
Yes, it did.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh, I must have missed that part. All right, so they're going to find this Event Horizon.
The Event Horizon was a ship that was supposed to be faster than the speed of light. They flew it or drove it past Neptune, because that's where they said this is going to be safe to test it. And the ship was deemed a catastrophic failure. Everybody's dead. A few years go by. They see the ship, and they get the people, the characters in the movie,
But
is
wait,
a rescue.
They see the ship on. Oh, okay.
It's a rescue to go. Oh, here's the event horizon. Go there, see what happened. If there's anybody there, rescue them. You get me irritated already.
Are you done with your synopsis?
Go ahead. You fill in the blanks. I'll jump in as
This
needed.
is because this is where it gets confusing. Okay, this is where things get confusing. So they're on a ship
Yes.
in the beginning of the movie. So do they they don't live in outer space?
Did you watch?
I did watch it.
Look me in the fucking eye right now. And tell-
I watched it. I will show you where I rented it for $2.99 on Amazon.
I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad.
Because they find this random thing as they're on the ship, and then Sam Neill starts talking about, the guy built the event horizon. We need to go see this, and I'm like, okay, so now they decide to go and find them. No, is that not what happened? This is the problem with this movie. It's so confusing.
It's not confusing, Theresa. Jesus Christ.
So confusing. It wants to throw all these big science words out at you.
What? I have nothing right now. Oh my God! You didn't even watch the movie.
I did too. I swear to God.
So the main character,
Justin, I swear to Jesus.
Search and rescue.
I'm going to show
right?
you right now.
I'm about to mute you. They're on the search and rescue to rescue the people on the event horizon. They mention that they're pissed that they need to go on this mission because they were pulled off leave. So there's some type of military people. They were on leave. They got pulled off of their leave. They don't live on the ship.
How do you see your rental orders?
They find the event horizon. They dock, and they go on to the second ship. So far, so good?
Okay, so apparently you can't look back at your rentals, but I watched it.
Okay.
I'm gonna search my email.
Go ahead, search.
I will.
We'll wait.
No, you can continue as I search. It's
How is
fine.
everybody's week?
Why would you think I wouldn't watch it?
I've been working from home.
Keep going. It's fine.
They get to the ship. They conduct a search and rescue. They find a dead body floating and frozen because there's no gravity on the ship. And eventually they realize what's his name? The guy from Jurassic Park?
Sam Neill. I don't remember his name in the movie.
Yeah, we'll call him Dr. Grant. Dr. Grant, he reveals that
he built the ship, the event horizon.
He built the ship, and he knows how the engine works. The ship is not faster than the speed of light. It creates a wormhole, temporarily goes through another dimension, comes out the other side instantaneously.
Yes. And can we just mention that Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie?
Lawrence Fishburne is indeed in the movie.
Because he's one of the high notes of this movie.
He is. He did a good job.
That and the other random, comedic effect. Oh, God. The other, comedic effect black guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
They go to the spaceship. Off the bat, the spaceship is set up. If you notice, it is... The architectural design mirrors a cathedral. Which you apparently didn't pick up on.
No, I didn't.
And there's a lot of H.R. Geiger influences throughout the setting.
I don't even... Who is that? Am I supposed to know that?
Dude, did you ever see Alien?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's just... I have nothing to say to you. I'm hurt and disappointed.
I'm not a very big science fiction-y kind of person.
It's not science fiction, Teresa.
Is he the guy that made the Alien and Alien?
He's the guy that made the art that inspired Alien.
I didn't know there was art inspired by...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, I'm sorry that I don't know the background of every movie ever made. When I think of Alien, I think of the Chestbuster Man.
I just threw all my shit.
God, you're so angry today.
I am. All right. So apparently... when the ship goes to another dimension, it was some evil hell dimension similar to Hellraiser, right?
Yes.
So the ship comes out, and the ship is now possessed or controlled or something similar
by weird shit.
Yeah, the main core, the main engine, is this really, really, really cool sphere with these rings that rotate around it. You remember that part?
Yes, I remember that.
You gonna tell me that didn't look cool?
I'm not saying it didn't look cool. I'm not saying that there are...
You didn't notice the similarities between the cube from Hellraiser and that orb?
No, I didn't think that much into it, to be honest, because I was very angry that I had to watch this movie. Honestly.
Now, the core is in itself an artificial black hole, which apparently is the science term that Theresa didn't like.
There was more than just black hole, okay? I know what a black hole is.
And then the ship eventually starts to fuck with people. It takes people over. The Dr. Grant person turns evil. He's like your pinhead type person. All the shit...
All right, let's stop comparing this to Hellraiser, number one. It doesn't have that many comparisons
Fair.
to Hellraiser.
Sure.
Like...
All right.
And I know why you're doing that. You're trying to compare it to Hellraiser to get me to like it more, and it's not going to work.
Okay.
He has an entire page of notes on this freaking movie.
We should take pictures of my notebook and put them on like the Facebook and Twitter.
His notebook is ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. Whereas
like, I don't even know where to start.
I take like...
Completely unprepared.
I'm not unprepared.
Bro, you barely watched the movie.
I watched the movie. Oh my god. Just because I didn't critically analyze it like apparently you freaking did. Compared it to every other movie you've ever seen in your entire life. Here's my problem.
Go ahead.
With this movie, okay? This movie doesn't know if it wants to be a sci-fi movie or if it wants to be a horror movie.
Why can't it be both?
Because it doesn't meld right.
Okay.
Like, it's, ooh, sciencey, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, bam! Here's your unnecessary horror gore. Like, I'm sorry, but that video that they found of, like, the other crew...
Yeah, they find this video, and...
But it was so unnecessary.
Yes, it was. The video is of the original crew, like, going through shit. And for some reason they're speaking Latin. I don't quite understand why they're doing that. And they interpret it incorrectly, and they think it's a cry for help, but it's really a warning.
I think that was the being in the ship.
The being in the ship wouldn't have told someone to save themselves.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was that one guy that kept saying. But maybe they...
Remember?
But what if the being in the ship tried to, like, mess up the translation of the...
Maybe.
Thinking nobody speaks Latin anymore.
You didn't like the part where there was a young kid... one of the younger crew members, something happens and he sees like the hell dimension that the ship got out of, and he like wants to kill himself out of the airlock. You didn't like that scene?
Oh, that was the one when he when he was in the airlock, and then like I know like the air started to get sucked out, and like they ran to try to get him out, and he was like just gushing blood out of him. Listen, here's the thing. I felt like a lot of the goriness of this movie was not necessary, and it was just put in there because whoever was making it was like, oh, wait a minute, we're making a horror movie.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that scene with the video needed to be as brutal and as gory as it was to fit the movie.
Okay. What did you think about the settings overall? Do you remember the scene?
I didn't mind the setting.
I thought it was really cool when
and I didn't mind the
in
ships.
There's like a computer hallway thing that he has to crawl through.
Which one? Sam Neill?
No. I think it's
or the other like main guy.
The other.
I'm getting confused with. I for some reason I keep picturing the guy from Dog Soldiers, War Dogs, whatever it is, and it's not him.
Someone has to crawl through like, it's like an air vent almost, but it's filled with computer boards to fix something. And
something happens while he's in there.
I thought the settings were really cool. They did a really good job of making something suspenseful.
I think that I would have liked this movie more if they would have stuck with just it being a sci-fi movie.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I feel like for like the first half hour, 45 minutes-ish, more like maybe half hour, the people making this movie were like, okay, we're going to make a sci-fi movie.
Do you know originally... the antagonist, it wasn't supposed to be like a haunted ship, Hellraiser, I have to drag everybody to hell type of movie. It was originally supposed to be like a Lovecraftian type monster that was controlling things.
But I could totally see this being a Lovecraft type movie,
and
to be honest.
They pulled back on that because they were afraid that audiences would think it was too much of an Alien ripoff.
But see, this is what I mean. I feel like they started to make a sci-fi movie.
Okay.
And then halfway through, someone was like, wait a minute. I have a great idea. Let's make it a horror movie instead.
But what would be the difference as if it's a haunted house? It's just a different setting and theme.
Because the way that they went about this beginning and the beginning of this plot, in my opinion, a lot of the goriness of this movie was not needed. I feel like it would have been way more suspenseful if maybe you didn't see that video and instead you just had a pan of all the people's face on the ship and you just hear the sounds of everybody getting killed.
Fair enough.
Instead, you get this completely over the top, gory, brutal, like murdering scene, and it would have been like if they would have had Jaws pop out of the water in the first 3 minutes of the movie.
So it's because of that one. I keep hitting the mic with my glasses. It's because of that one video, that one scene. That's what puts the entire movie to shit.
A lot of like the goriness of the movie, I just wasn't a fan of because I just feel like this movie doesn't define itself at all.
Okay.
And like you can say, well, what if it was in a haunted house? A good majority of haunted house movies don't even use gore like that.
Okay.
Unless if it's like, a cheesy ass, low budget piece of shit.
Okay.
I would reference The Haunting of Hill House, but you didn't watch it.
Haunting of Hill House.
That was the Netflix one. The series.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
You didn't finish it.
I got 2 minutes in.
I told you have to get like 3 episodes in.
Ugh. So eventually...
Here's the other thing that annoyed me.
Go ahead.
Here's the other thing that annoyed me.
Yeah, tell me.
So in the beginning of the movie, Sam Neill
I'm curious.
keeps having flashbacks to his wife.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. For some reason, I rationalized in my head that one of the other reasons he was so gung-ho about going to find the Event Horizon is because he thought his wife was going to be on it.
No.
Until then, you realized, later on that, she kills herself. And I was like, what the fuck is the point of all of these flashbacks, then?
Because it was a traumatic event that's haunting him.
But it was stupid.
And everything's being amplified because they're going back to the Event Horizon.
He was having those nobody was having flashbacks really until they got into the ship. If they would have started him having those flashbacks in the ship, it would have made so much more sense.
He was in a stasis on the way to the ship.
What the fuck? What does that mean, a stasis?
When they were sleeping in the goo.
Oh, in the goo. Oh, it's the goo. The goo. No, I'll wait until we get to the end of the movie. If you could see the look that Justin is giving me right now. I don't think in all of our years of friendship he has ever looked at me this before.
It's like a parent's disappointment for their child's poor choices. You've made a poor decision, and I just would expect you to make a better one. How many people survive?
2.
3? 2? Because
the girl and the comedic black man.
Yeah, because the other guy makes a sacrifice.
Yes.
To blow up the Event Horizon so everybody else can. And
the other 2 go into the goo.
And the other 2 go into the goo. And then
I was slightly annoyed that the comedic black man lived. He was like the 9 lives. But see, that was another aspect of this movie that was not needed. So in all of this seriousness,
comedic relief,
and all of this sci-fi-ness, you just have this guy that makes a joke. He's in fucking space, gets blown out of the spaceship. He's like, I gotta get back. Rips his thing. He's like, I'm coming home. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this is so stupid. Tell me that character wasn't stupid.
He wasn't the best. So as usual, I jotted down things that I thought you wouldn't like.
Oh, here we go.
The first one was the sci-fi question mark. So I didn't think that you would like it because of the science fiction elements, which apparently I'm right.
Yeah, but I'm not a very big science fiction person. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
We had a conversation last week about maybe doing an episode of Alien movies, and I was kind of like, I wouldn't even know where to start because I haven't really seen any because that's kind of really not my jam.
Okay.
When I think of sci-fi movies, my sci-fi standard is like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I won't even deny it.
Okay.
Not Star Trek. Star Wars.
You like Star Trek?
I've never seen. I know, I've never seen.
An episode or a movie?
Either. I did
why?
try.
Why?
Just because when I was a kid, I was really into Star Wars, and like Star Trek just didn't really interest me, so I never really picked up on it.
Okay.
I did try though at one point to watch The Wrath of Khan because I heard that that's the best one.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get very far into it. I don't know why. I don't think it was because I wasn't enjoying it. I just think I got sidetracked.
Okay.
You know what else I've never seen? Side note, a James Bond movie.
Yeah, I've never been a big James Bond
Never seen
fan
one.
either.
Crazy. Anyway,
There's no Funko Pop characters.
what does that have to do with anything?
I've noticed a lot of the movies that you like, there are Funko Pop characters. I'm not sure what that correlation is.
Can you be a little bit more specific, please? Because
There's a Funko Pop character for every movie that you like.
That's a lie. There is no Funko Pop character from, well, this episode will probably be posted before what I'm going to say after this.
Go ahead.
There's no Funko Pop character for Frailty, because if there would be, it would be Matthew McConaughey and I would have it. There's no Funko Pop for our Identity. There's no Funko Pop for Dressed to Kill. What other movies have I picked? There's no Funko Pops from The Howling. There's no Funko Pops from Company of Wolves. So you're wrong.
You like Company? You like that movie?
I didn't mind it.
All right. There was no one identifiable monster or killer. Like there was no one pinpoint. You could point to
But there
that
was
guy.
the ship, though.
Yeah, but the ship isn't like a Jason or a Freddy Krueger.
I didn't mind
or...
that aspect
Okay.
of it, to be honest.
And the last reason I put why you didn't like the movie is just pure fucking stubbornness just to piss me off.
No, I just don't like the movie. I just don't like it. If I really wanted to piss you off, I wouldn't have agreed to watch it.
Okay.
Again. But what is it that you like so much about this movie? Because, see, I don't think that in general that this is a movie that you necessarily would dislike.
Okay.
But you, like, really like this movie.
It's
and
a
I
good
don't
movie.
understand.
So I think it's not your standard horror movie of, you know, the sexy teenage, or I can't say that. That makes you sound like a kid toucher.
Yeah,
The
seriously.
sexy early 20s something people lost in the woods, and then here's the killer, or it's not your regular horror movie. It's very different. It's very different. I thought the pacing in this movie was excellent.
I felt it to be really long, I'm not going to lie.
No way, homie. The pacing in the movie was
All right,
excellent.
dude.
Pacing in the movie was excellent.
Homie, don't play that.
I really liked the setting, the way they did the spaceship up. I liked the
I will
science.
give you this. I didn't mind the acting. I did think that the actors,
acting was good.
except for
Yeah.
that one comedic relief
the
person,
yeah,
but he just
cut that out.
wrote a shit part. But other than that, I did enjoy the acting
Yeah.
very, very much. Like, I thought Sam Neill was really good. I thought Lawrence Fishburne, I mean, it's Lawrence Fishburne, but I thought he was really good. I thought the other two chicks were good.
The main engine, the sphere with the things spinning around it, I thought that was really cool.
But you're
Just
a person that
visually, it made sense as to why it was there.
But, like, you like that, like, H.P. Lovecraftian kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. It's not
Whereas
your standard
I kind
bullshit.
of don't as much. I don't know. I just... So the end of the movie.
The end of the movie.
So this guy sacrifices himself. He's like, I'm going to blow up the ship. The other two go in the goop. And the goop
Yeah.
is kind of like...
I did like the gore, too. I know you didn't like the gore, but I did like the gore.
The goop is kind of like this...
I thought the gore
compare it
was
to
a-
something.
The gore, I'm just totally side railing you.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about the gore when I'm talking about the goop?
Yeah,
Is it
hold
called
that
gore?
thought. The gore was good because I feel the movie is popular enough to where you wouldn't expect that level of gore or just pure violence in that type of movie.
I don't understand why you think this movie is so popular, though. It has a 20% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
People on Rotten Tomatoes suck.
People on Rotten Tomatoes don't suck.
Do you rate movies on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't rate movies on Rotten Tomatoes, actually. I feel like I want to put something out on the Twitter to try to get retweets if you like the movie Event Horizon. But we don't have that many followers on Twitter as of this recording, so you should follow us at @APerfectMess1 at Twitter.
True. What else we have? We have YouTube.
We
got
have a YouTube,
set
which
up.
I don't know what we're going to put up on the YouTube yet, but anyway.
I'll show you. We got that Facebooks.
We have a Facebook, A Perfect Mess. We're on Facebook. And the podcast is now available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, and Google Podcast.
Yep, Google Podcasts.
So we're fucking everywhere, people. Get on the train. Let's go.
Talk to me about that ending.
So the other two people go into the goop. And all of a sudden, like, somebody, like, falls out of the goop. And they did, like, a psych ending. Mm-hmm. And I was, like, you know why I didn't like the ending? Because at first I got mad thinking that the movie was going to keep going. And I was like, oh, my God, just end the movie. I did like the fact, though, that the one girl at, like, the very, very end, after the psych ending, got, like, all hysterical when she came out of the goop because she had been, like, traumatized.
Yeah.
And, like, so they're back on the original ship in the goop, and they actually get rescued. But I feel like it was that, even that was, like, a little open-ended.
It was open-ended because they let you think that the evilness that was on the Event Horizon
is now on this ship.
Is still there. Well, they're still on the Event Horizon.
Oh, they were?
So, if you remember, the Event Horizon it's two parts. There's, like, the main head.
And then there was, like, that
long
little,
tail.
Yeah.
What they did was they blew up the middle part. So that way
had the big sphere and all that stuff.
Yep.
In it.
And then they were on the other side. That's essentially the lifeboat.
I don't know why I thought. And most of the movie was like a race against time too, because they knew that they were going to run out of oxygen.
Yeah.
So they're like racing against time to get done what they have to get done.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing too is like they knew everybody was dead. Why not just get off the fucking ship? You know everybody's dead.
So
But Sam Neill is like, oh, it's my baby.
Well, no, that's a good question. The reason they just can't get off the ship is when they accidentally power up that engine. There's like a
there was like a explosion,
like a
or
backfire
something.
or something, and that fucks with their original ship.
That's right.
It fucks with something.
There was just too much going on.
Okay.
There was just too much going on. And I actually, like, I might not have taken notes, but I actually, like, watched it. Like, I wasn't, like, on my computer. Mm-hmm. Like, I watched it.
Yeah.
I did. I swear.
Okay.
He doesn't believe me, but I swear to God I did.
The movie has a lot of correlation to, I know this doesn't mean anything to you, but Warhammer.
The game?
Yeah.
I never played it, but I know very, very randomly of it, but I haven't played it.
And then people are saying that Event Horizon could be the Hellraiser 2.5.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Hellraiser in space? Like Leprechaun in the Hood?
Well, in Hellraiser 2, they essentially, the Leviathan shuts down. The cube monster thing? Yeah.
I vaguely remember.
Hellraiser 3 takes place in the future after the events of Event Horizon, because Event Horizon takes place in the year 2040. The cube could just have taken a different form from the cube.
And it became the Event Horizon?
It could be that fucking sphere that spins around, and when those rings line up perfectly to create the black hole, that could be like solving the puzzle.
Well, in that case, they should have had Pinhead in there, because it would have made this movie 15 billion times better.
But since there's more than one of those Pinhead monsters...
There are. What are they called again? Cenobites?
Cenobites?
Something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Not Cenobites.
Cenobites.
Oh my god, I
Cinnamon
could go for some
Cinnamon
Cenobites.
bites. But...
That sounds delicious.
The Dr. Grant character, when he becomes controlled by the ship, for all you know, he's one of them. There's a scene where they never explicitly say that because it was...
the Cenobites don't actually, like, take people over like that. Like, take over people.
Yeah, they do.
Not in the first one they did.
In the second one...
I don't remember the second one.
There's, like, this dickhead doctor that becomes one. So they all start out as people, and then they somehow turn into them.
Like Frank.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, like Frank. Listen, I just got my Shudder account back.
Your what account?
My Shudder account.
Your Shudder.
Which Justin P.S. does not have an account to Shudder, and I don't understand why, because he doesn't want to pay for it. I understand why.
That's
because
why.
it's not cheap. I'm not.
What is it
gonna
again?
lie.
I ask that every time. It was like $10 a month.
No, I pay. I think it's like $50 for the year.
$50.
But that was. But now,
okay.
if you sign up now, I think it's like it's a little more expensive. I think it's like $56 for the year.
It's not that bad. Maybe I'll do it. All right, whatever.
But anyway, I got to catch up on a lot of stuff now that I have it back.
Event Horizon. This makes Justin's watch list. Maybe I'll make a watch list of movies to definitely watch.
I would not put it on my watch list.
It's definitely on my watch list. Event Horizon.
But what do you mean, like your watch list?
10.5 out of 12.
10.5.
10.5.
I wasn't going to be like mean with it and be like, I give it a 2. Like, I'd give it a solid 5, maybe a 6
Out of...
out of 12.
Why? I don't understand.
I don't understand why you gave it a 10.5. Like, I could see you giving it like an 8, but like
you
a
legit just don't like it
10.5?
because of the overuse of gore and the science
No,
fiction
it's just-
elements?
it's
I
just
don't
not-
understand it.
It just wasn't. I just wasn't into it. I don't
Okay.
enjoy it. I didn't like it. Your thing clicked.
It's still going.
I mean, I'm sorry.
It's disappointing.
I can't believe you gave it a 10.5.
Just
Like, that's the
disappointed. I would
highest.
totally-
That's the highest movie I think that you've rated anything so far.
Well, what have we watched so far?
We watched The Void,
Okay.
We
Definitely better than The
watched-
Void.
The Witch. We watched Texas Chainsaw. We watched
American Werewolf in Paris.
American Werewolf in London.
Dog Soldiers, I gave it 10.
This movie was not better than Dog Soldiers.
Yes, it was.
No way.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely not. There's no way this movie
You're
was
either
better
drinking
than
too
Dog
much or not
Soldiers.
enough.
No.
Lighthouse, I gave an 11.
You did?
Yeah.
All right.
I would say this is more... It's an easier watch than The Witch.
Really?
Yeah. I might have given it a higher numerical score, but I wouldn't go on the record and say it's a better movie than The Witch, but it's definitely an easier watch. All right, so
I don't know.
just thank you for letting me getting that off my chest. I still...
You guys don't even understand how long
just don't
he's
get
been
it.
like wanting to do this episode about this stupid movie.
Just for you to explain yourself.
It's just not
Science
my kind
fiction.
of movie.
Too much gore.
It's just not my kind of movie.
All right, fair
You
enough.
know, like your wife doesn't understand how I've never watched The Notebook. It's just not my kind of movie. Just not into it.
Yeah, but that's like... You can't compare Event Horizon to The Notebook.
Well, I'm not trying to compare Event Horizon to Listen, if you're a girl, you know the significance of the movie The Notebook, okay?
The first time I watched The Notebook was with her,
Shocking.
and she got annoyed because I figured out the entire movie in 5 minutes.
Well, I'm assuming it's not difficult. I still to this day haven't seen
There's
it.
supposed to, like, to people that are into that movie, there's like a big twist where it's, they're the old people the entire time. And
Oh,
like,
well, obviously.
well, yeah, but tell her that. She's like, I see that before.
I've never even seen the movie, and
Yeah.
I've seen pieces of it, but even I could figure that out. Anyway, sorry, all the people that I might offend. I
Event
didn't like
Horizon.
Event Horizon.
It's on the watch list. Tell Theresa that she's wrong on Twitter and Facebook. Until then, we're a perfect mess. I'm Justin. She's Theresa. We'll see you next
I
time.
don't know if I'm going to be allowed back as the co-host of this podcast after this episode.
Yeah, right? All right. Bye, guys.